We're live. Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to My Comfy Couch. We have our live session tonight with just Thaddeus and I. So you stuck with Thaddeus and I tonight. How y'all doing? Say hi when y'all get in the chat. Let me try to find this here, Thaddeus. Let's see where we at. Okay, say hi when you get in the chat, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'll be checking the chat. I'm Nikki, as you know, the host here. And say hi, Thaddeus.
Hi, how are you guys doing?
Okay, so tonight we are having our pre-St. Patrick's Day little turn up on the channel. Are you doing anything tomorrow? Do you do anything for St. Patrick's Day?
Nah, I mean, I'm not a big pagan holiday guy.
Hola.
Rasta man don't celebrate these holidays.
Oh my gosh, stop it. Adios. Okay, so while we wait for people to get on, let's play a little game first. But before we play the game, I have to mention to everyone, we have a sign up going on now where you could get information about an upcoming course that we have. Thaddeus, ask me more.
What is this course about?
Well, this course is about how to get over someone you love. So if you or someone you know is having a hard time getting over someone, this is going to be the course you want them to sign up for. So if they want to get to know me, the coach, want to get to know what the class is about, we have an info session that is free coming up next week, Thursday at 7:30 p.m. EST. So you can sign up now. Ask me where.
Where?
Thank you. You can sign up now on www.mycomfycouch.com/book-a-session. Okay? mycomfycouch.com/ what is this one? This one is forward or back? Forward. book-a-session. Okay? And sign up. We're looking for 20 spots. We got 20 spots, okay? So y'all come on, sign up, and get to know more about the class, okay? So that's my little spiel. And as always, if you like what we're doing on the channel, don't forget to subscribe. All of y'all watching every week and not subscribing. We need y'all, okay? Support this channel, please. Like, share, tell somebody about it, comment, keep the engagement going, okay? Look at Thaddeus. You look so cute, Thaddeus. I made him wear that, right?
Yes, forced, actually.
Look at him. So he does listen to some people sometimes. Again, say hi when y'all get in the chat and let us know. Listen, later on in the show, you guys are going to be able to ask us a question, okay? So if you have questions that you want Thaddeus or myself to answer, you can put it in the chat later on and we'll answer them as long as they're not sexual, right, Thaddeus? You said?
Yeah, none of those weird questions, no.
Okay, so what I'm going to start off is, you know, our game Mentally Stimulate Me, right? So I'm going to ask you some questions from there. There's different editions. Some of them are, you know, kind of risque and some of them are different editions. So we're going to ask a couple of those and see what the audience has to say too, okay? So,
okay.
Huh?
I said, okay.
All right, let me hear some excitement in your voice now. I know it's 9 o'clock and everything. Say hi when y'all get in the chat, everyone. Okay, so the first question is, you wait for the title to have sex, then realize your partner craves sex twice as often as you do. So let's say you get married, okay? Because we promoted marriage on the show, right?
Thank you.
So let's say you're married and then you notice that your partner craves sex twice as much as you do. So what you doing? A, you're getting help from toys or other things. B, you're getting a volunteer to help. C, you're stepping up even if you don't always like it. Or D, you leave if they can't tolerate less. So what you doing, Thaddeus?
I would definitely suck it up.
You what?
Yeah.
All right.
So I mean, let's say you want it once a week, she wants it twice. I mean, what is an additional time?
Your sound was going off. What you said?
I said, if she wants it twice as much, which means that if we were doing stuff once a week, now we have to do it twice a week. Come on, man. We can step it up. Yeah, step up the game.
Step it up, right? Yeah, for me too. I think I would definitely step it up. At least try, right? I'm up for the challenge. And what y'all think in the chat? Actually, I think we have one watching now. I don't know if people really got the notifications. People have been telling me the notification comes on late, but if you're watching, let us know, say hi in the chat, okay? And let us know what you would do. So it looks like both of our answer was the same on that one. So we both gonna step it up, okay? All right, so the next question, this is a good one, okay? Is a man who hates his mom ready to be in a relationship? A, no, how he feels about his mom is how he'll feel about a woman. B, yes, the two have nothing to do with each other. Or C, it depends on the reason why he hates her. You need those options again?
Nah, I definitely.
Okay, so tell me, this is how the game's supposed to go. You're supposed to guess what the other person's answer is. So tell me what you think my answer is.
C.
It depends on why?
Yeah. Because I mean, he could hit his mother for a good reason. I mean, she could be abusive. She could be one of those women who were very neglectful, probably left him at home and went traipsing over the country chasing, drugs and alcohol and all that stuff. And if he doesn't like her, then I think that's a fair reason not to like your mom.
But hate is such a strong word. Hate?
If he was abused, then I could understand why.
Ooh. So you don't think he needs to heal from that before he try to be with somebody?
I mean, don't you, if somebody did you something very terrible, let's say you're growing up and, maybe your dad did you something terrible and you didn't like him or you hated him, that maybe some of that would spill over to your husband, but I could see that you could separate the two, especially if one is nothing like the other.
Ooh, wow. Yeah. Yes. Hi, NH. I see that you joined. So the question, we asked in a question, is a guy ready to be in a relationship if he hates his mom? Okay. So option A was no, how he feels about his mom is how he's going to treat a woman. B is yes, the two have nothing to do with each other. And C, it depends on the reason why he hates her. So Thaddeus thinks I chose C. And initially I did want to choose C because I'm like, it depends. But hate, since the word hate is in there, I feel like they need to resolve that. Even if there was some, abuse or something that went on, I think you need to heal from that because I think that that's definitely going to go over into the relationship. So I'm going to say a no on that one. So I'm thinking your answer, I think your answer is C. I think you're going to say it depends.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. So what about if it was a female, if you flip it and it was a female? Same thing?
Yeah, same exact thing.
So you wouldn't judge her if she didn't like her parents or had an issue with her?
If she had a good reason not to like him, yeah.
Oh, okay. Say hi when you get on the chat, everyone. Thank you for joining us on our pre-St. Patrick's Day show. Okay, so we're going on to our next question. So our next question is, how many divorces are too many divorces for someone to have and still want to date them? A is 1, B 2, C 4, and D, it doesn't matter how many divorces they have. This is a big one, right? Because so many people are getting divorced, especially by the time you meet them in their 30s, 40s, 50s, like they've been divorced. So it's like, okay, some people on their second, some on their third. Like, does it matter to you guys? Tell me in the chat. Do you guys care how many times someone has been divorced? Hey, Simplified Chic. NH actually agreed that she thinks they can separate it. So it's okay to date, I guess, if the person still has an issue. Okay, with their parents. Okay, so yeah, so Thaddeus, I'm guessing your answer is, you seem like, I think you don't deal with divorced people. Are you one of them Church of God 7-day, like, if they divorce, the Church of God is the only true church?
Amen, sister. Amen.
What? Is it okay? How many divorces can they have, Thaddeus?
They can have 0.
Wow. Thaddeus, really? They can't have 1?
Nah.
Why not?
I mean, you want me to crack my Bible open and read from Matthew?
What? This boy said Matthew. Why? You think it's not biblical?
It certainly is not.
Wow. Okay, so you think the Bible is against divorce, but I thought they had a couple of reasons in there why you could.
There's one reason that was given, just one reason.
Okay, and if it was for that one reason, is it okay then?
Then I would. If she was worth it, I'll make the exception.
Okay, so your answer is A,
0.
maybe?
No, 0. Let's go.
Oh Lord. Y'all in the chat, tell me how many divorces are too many before you would consider dating someone. Thaddeus says 0. I see in the chat, who else? I saw someone in the chat commented. And it said 3 is too many. And you have simplified sheep laughing. Okay, what do you think my answer is? How many divorces do you think
4.
are my kind of max?
4.
4. Thaddeus! Wow.
Okay, two.
No, my answer is 1, Thaddeus. I don't want to be wife number 3.
So you want to be wife number 2?
I mean, I wouldn't mind because I think like it is.
So you already know I'm the statistics guy, right? So first of all, if you get married once, what's the statistic that you're gonna get divorced? What's the percentage?
I guess 50.
It's about 50 to 60, right? Second time marriages, you know what that number jumps up to?
I think 70.
70. Third time marriages, you know what that number jump up to?
Oh Lord, never.
Bad boy is like almost 90. Yeah, exactly. So you're just setting up yourself for failure, in my opinion. It's like somebody already been through the whole process of divorcing. It's like it's not as bad. Like, you know, you did something already. It's easier to do it a second time. So yeah, for that reason, I would do it.
Ooh, so Thaddeus ain't giving nobody a chat. Lord, somebody in the chat said. Somebody in chat said, "What about abuse? Like they can't help that if the person did that to them.
Well,
You're not gonna give them a chance."
I didn't say that, you know, I don't understand why they would want to leave them. I just said that that's just not my preference. Like I wouldn't. That's not a valid reason for me. But I mean, you could do your thing. That's just not a valid reason for me.
Okay.
And I wouldn't judge you if you did either. I wouldn't be there like, no, she can't. No. This is just my personal thing.
Okay, thank you for sharing that. Y'all in the chat, let me know. Okay, someone said 3 is too much. Okay, so now is a chance where you guys get to ask us anything you want to know about us except sexual questions, okay? So now is the time you can ask Thaddeus. You see him on here every week. Is there anything that you want to know about Thaddeus? And also me. So if you have any questions for me or Thaddeus, you can put it in the chat right now and we will answer your questions before we move on to our next kind of topic here. Any questions, y'all write it in the chat. So don't forget to like, love, share this video, subscribe if you're watching us, okay? And let us know how we're doing, okay? So write in the chat if you have any questions and I'll look through them as we're going along in the show, okay? So the first topic we're gonna talk about is, boom, 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 the show called Love is Blind. Okay, Thaddeus, you said that you haven't seen the show, so I'm gonna tell you about the show. And those on the call here, or I mean on the in the chat, let me know your comments, okay? So let me sum it up for you. Love is Blind. So I watched season 2, right? So it was about 30 singles. They put them behind a wall, so you don't know the person you're talking to. You have no idea what they look like at all. So there's a wall in between the two of you and you're in one room, they call a pod, and the other person is in the pod and you guys are talking to each other through a wall, right? So you talk to all these different people. I think there was about, like I said, 30 of them. And then you try to determine, you know, who you link with, who you connect with. And the guy eventually, if he finds a woman that he really likes, he has to propose to her. And upon proposing, then they actually meet when they're engaged and then go on to the wedding, then go on to do like kind of like a little honeymoon, then live together and decide if they really do want to get married, okay? So that's the whole synopsis of the show. So on season 2, I watched, they had again 30 couples and 6 of them popped the question, okay? So the interesting thing was, first of all, Thaddeus, we talked about arranged marriages before. Thaddeus, would you do something like that? Would you do an arranged marriage?
Most definitely, yes.
You would? Y'all in the chat, tell me if y'all would do some kind of show like this. Would y'all let somebody hook y'all up, or would you get with somebody that you haven't seen? You would? You said yes, Thaddeus.
Well, I said arranged marriage. You didn't put.
Oh, sorry, arranged. So you do arranged, but would you do a show like this?
And wait, do I have to marry them after?
No, you have a choice. So you get to see them.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Spend time with them.
Cool. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah,
cool. Yeah,
you know,
that sounds actually fun. And to me, like when you take away certain senses, it heightens the others. So now you're forced to actually, instead of focusing on the physical, you're actually forced to see if this person has a personality and if you actually gel. Because what happens is a lot of times, if you really like someone, how they look, you might brush a lot of things underneath the rug. A lot of things you might want to look over just because, hey, well, she got a dump truck, so I'm going to let certain things pass. But if that same woman, and I mean, you already know I always have these things that I say that are not exactly politically correct, but a lot of pretty women, I'm just gonna say, a lot of pretty women, they don't have a personality because they weren't forced to have a personality.
Wow.
I mean, it's a fact, right? I mean, it's a fact. Like, you could ask most guys and they'll tell you, yes, most guys would agree with me. And so they're not forced to have a personality, right? So a lot of times the men just get with them and you get along with them because you think that you get along with them, but it's now you're just blinded by the beauty. So having that taken away will just enhance, or it will amplify that person's bad personality, and then you'll quickly move on to someone who will actually be a long-term suited mate.
Okay, so you think it's a good idea. Like, most people were thinking like, hey, this is good. Like you said, it'll take away the superficial aspect, and
Yeah.
you could really just get to know the person, right? So those in the chat, say hi when you get in. Again, if you have any questions for Thaddeus or you can write it in the chat. I see your question, NH. We're going to get to it next. We're talking about the show Love is Blind right now, okay? So Thaddeus said, it sounds like a good idea, right? So I was thinking, that's a good idea, right? You get to know somebody for who they are. So what happens? 6 of the couples, guys, actually propose to the girl. So what happens now? Out of the 6, 3 of them, when they saw the person,
Really?
yes, 3 of them out of the 6 one was a guy, I think, and 2 were girls. When they saw the person, they were like, oh, this is not really what I go for. But they were still trying to make it work though. So they still went on vacation. One of them cut the vacation short.
Yeah.
The other 2 actually tried. One guy was like, oh man, she reminds me of like my aunt. Like, I'm really not attracted to her.
I mean,
Really
were
hurt
they
the
just
girl's.
not, were they just not, were they not matched, like, as far as in
But
attractiveness?
that's the thing, is that is, you won't believe, these people were like convinced, a lot of them, that they love this person. I think it was like for a week or less they were talking with these people, and like they were convinced, like, I love this person, this is my person, and they proposed without seeing the person. Okay, these people are really convinced. And like I said, half of them like kind of saw the person, was like, this is not really what I'm used to, but let me give it a shot. And do you think those 3 worked?
Nah.
No, that's correct. Hey, Anisha. That is correct. It
That
didn't
reminds me a
work.
lot about that's like online dating, by the way.
How?
Because like you're talking to this person on like a dating site, and for women, like, you always you guys are very good at taking perfect angles and making your picture and making it seem that you're somebody that you're not, and then when you see them in person, it's like, ugh. It's like, where's your filter? You should have brought your filter with you.
That is,
And then that
dang
just
it.
throws off the entire vibe, like, immediately. So I can see how that would happen.
Exactly. So guys, we're talking about Love is Blind, the show where you don't know who it is, you don't know what they look like, you just talk to them behind a wall and decide if you want to get engaged to them or not. Thaddeus said he's up for it, but I told him half of those people, they didn't make it. They saw the person and was like, this is not really my type. They tried to work past it and they just couldn't. Okay, so that's the sad thing about that. So tell me, y'all in the chat, would y'all do the show? Y'all think Love is Blind is okay? Y'all let me know. Okay, so at first I thought it was a cute idea, but looks, I see. Ugh. So Thaddeus, what if you connected with the girl and you weren't really feeling the way she looked? You think you could get past it?
As a friend, yes, sure.
Oh Lord.
I mean, but
Okay,
that's a big thing. Now, it depends. Now, if we're doing like strictly arranged marriage, like this is a marriage for it's more about business and family, like bringing 2 families together. Yeah, she just I just have one stipulation physically, and she just can't be that. And as long as she's not that, like, we're good.
oh Lord. Okay, so somebody said, Anisha said she'd try it, right? That's cool. Okay, so again, if you have any questions for Thaddeus or any questions that aren't sexual, even though Simplified Chic said no sexual questions, so what's the point? Put it in the chat, okay? So I do have a question. NH said, would you let Thaddeus hook you up on a blind date? Oh, Lord.
Yes, you would.
Why you said if I would?
I said, yes, you would.
Why you think that I would?
Don't you think that I know how to find good men? Like you don't think I would know what a good, what constitute a good man?
Presuming that I feel that
I'm a good guy.
Yeah, the answer is yes. The answer is yes. I would let Thaddeus hook me up on a blind date. Okay, if y'all have any other questions in the chat, let me know. Let me know. Oh my God, Simplified Chic says that you're Shake from the show. Shake is the guy that said the girl looked like his aunt. He felt like she was his aunt. I think that's him. Okay, so we're gonna go on to the next kind of video I wanted to talk about. Have y'all seen Tinder, the Tinder Swindler? That is. Ladies, guys in the chat, have y'all seen that documentary thing that was on Netflix, the Tinder Swindler? Oh my gosh, man, did you hear about it?
Oh, of course. I mean, the internet has been going crazy with this particular story, both men and women.
Yes.
Like all the men are all the women are like, you see, these guys are bad, they can't be trusted, blah, 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 whatever women say. And the men are like, you see, this is what we've been saying for years. Women will make all these rules, and then if you give them this fantasy, they will immediately drop everything that they say that they are not going to do. They will drop it immediately because they get a chance at this fantasy.
Woo, man. Well, long story short, y'all tell me in the chat if y'all seen it. But basically, a Tinder Swindler, right? This guy puts up a profile and he's got all the pictures on there, right? He's got the pictures where he's in a plane, high lifestyle. He just living it up, fancy schmancy. And he makes women believe, he's on Tinder, right? He makes them believe that he's like an heir to a diamond mogul, right? And he shows them the website and everything. And he takes them on these expensive trips and everything. And what he ends up doing is conning these women out of, I think, $10 million in total is how much he's conned these women all around the world. Okay. So I wanted us to talk about a couple lessons in that whole documentary. Let me know if y'all have seen it. Okay. Oh, NH says she hasn't seen it yet, but listen. So the first thing I noticed was the profile, right? The profile looked really exaggerated. And I see that different guys on Tinder have that, and women too, I guess, where the guy has a picture of him by the plane, him in the Alps, him skiing, him doing all kind of, lifestyle type stuff. And I always think that that's a red flag for me. If it looks just too ridiculous. Thaddeus, what you think about that? Do you guys see that on the women's profiles too?
Oh, I just said about the filters. So you would see women are attracted to your lifestyle, right? And men are attracted to your beauty. So guys lie about their lifestyle and women lie about their beauty.
That's what it is. It's the beauty, it's the reverse.
Exactly. I mean, that's exactly what it is. Why do you think women get so good at taking all these angle photos and push up bras, and they just get the lighting just right, and they hide their stomach or put their hand over it, and all these little tricks in order to make themselves look better than they are. And the guys, the same thing. They'll take a picture next to a car that's clearly not their own, but it's to give you the illusion that this is the lifestyle that they can afford.
Oh, see, that's interesting to see that in the reverse. So for the woman, it's they want the guy with all the stuff. And for the girl, she's got to be sexy. That's how you get the dudes, huh? Okay. Well, Anisha said that they seemed desperate to her. They were fooled by the flashy nature of the guy. Exactly. And so that was number one. It's the guy's profile. Sorry?
No, not necessarily, because remember, right? He was very, very good at picking out these women. First of all, they were all from Scandinavian countries. So he made sure that he picked women that came from countries that were more egalitarian, I think the word is, where it's men and women are seen as equal. So these women, they were kind of on their own, the strong and independent type. That's who he went after. These women were all in their late 30s, 40s, where they had almost like given up on love. They were well set financially, and they were still holding on to this childhood fantasy. We talked about this before, of finding a Prince Charming, some rich guy who is going to lavish them with attention. They're Prince Charming. Like I said, women pretty much never grow up right out of this phase. They always think that there's a Prince Charming that's going to come to rescue them. So he pinpointed, like, he was very meticulous in seeking out those particular women for his. He knew what he was doing.
Of course, I know not one broke chick on there.
Exactly. Notice the countries. Notice the countries he got them from.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know what was interesting? So what he would do is, of course, he'd have this profile, make you think he's balling. He'd take you on these trips. So what would happen is, after these women would, fall for him, thinking he's got all this money, he's got all this charm, then he would so I don't want to laugh because he's really wrong for this shit, but he would send them a picture of like his bodyguard, like all bloodied, making them feel like his life was in danger, like his enemies was after him. So he would keep asking them to send him money. And so they would send him money thinking this guy's life is in danger. And he knew how to play like Amex and the other credit cards and explain to the ladies how to get more money. And he would get 20,000, 100,000. I mean, like real legit money from these women, Thaddeus. And so they just kept thinking he was in danger until finally, they found out that he would just be disappearing, and he'd be all over the place, bouncing from here to there. So the first thing was definitely the profile. When it looks suspect, beware if he looks like Prince Charming.
As if he looks too good to be true. It's like, why? And everyone is asking the same questions, like, why would you think that if the guy is this rich, I mean, he is this rich, he is this well connected, why would he want plain old you?
I think the better question would be, why would he be single? Okay, jerk.
No. I mean, because he's a billionaire player. He's a billionaire playboy.
Yes.
I mean, but now he's showing you interest.
Some people actually have high self-esteem and feel that they are actually worth, being treated nice and lavished. Okay.
Which they totally are. But I'm saying, you're a plain Jane. Why would you think that a billionaire is going to look at you twice? You're a plain Jane. Again, Thaddeus. And that's what goes. That's why it was so easy for him to get it, because he was feeding into their fantasy. They had always fantasized about this. Oh, this guy who jump on a plane, go here, and his like, I did so much. There were so many reaction videos where they broke everything down. Like, everything he did played to women's weakness. Every single thing he did. And I was just like writing notes. I was like, yo, if I ever get in a bind, yo, they're gonna call me the Bumble Tumbler.
The Bumble Tumbler. Why? Anisha brought up a good point. She said these women never ask questions. Why didn't he ask his dad if he was rich? Why he getting money from them?
Because he of course, he would have thought about every angle. So he was like, yeah, I can't go to my dad because, I don't want this to go to him, or I don't want it to look bad, or whatever story he had. Trust me, it was well believed. And he had already set them up from before. So they already rode on his plane. They already rode in his expensive cars. So like, the whole fantasy was becoming real.
Exactly.
Fellas,
we're talking we talk about the Tinder swindler, guys. This guy who swindled money, $10 million out of women on Tinder. So that was number one, the profile. Number two, I wanted to talk about the lessons we learned from this is the hotel. Like, the first date, like, for all these women, for what I remember, a lot of them, they met him at a friggin' hotel. So if your freaking first date that you go on with the guy, he tells you, hey, I'm at this hotel, what? These women showed up to a damn hotel, that is.
But you think that if he didn't show them that lifestyle, they would have? They wouldn't have. So
just from some pictures online, you go into a man hotel room for the first time?
They believe the lifestyle that they saw.
What?
I mean, let's say if he was a regular guy in a Honda Civic, not anything pretty, and he asked them to come, they would have been like, hell no, they're not going.
Dang. So I thought that was a crazy thing too. A man sending you to do that. Okay.
It's not any
And
man. Remember, it's the son of a billionaire.
yeah, son of a billionaire.
Exactly.
Oh, and another thing I wanted to mention, ladies, if the man asks you for a dime, a freaking dime, and y'all not like, I want to say legit married or on your way there or almost there, like, don't do it. Don't do it. This is a red flag. Thaddeus, is that a red flag?
Definitely. That's a red flag. I mean, come on, I think that's common sense by now, right? And that would have been common sense to those women too, if, like I said, they weren't already so caught up in the fantasy. They weren't thinking.
But Simplified Chic did make a good point. She said you're missing the part where he actually made them live that life, like you said, for months, even a year. So it was believable. They thought like, okay, he could pay me the money back.
Of course, because he had a pipeline. He had a pipeline of them. So he was taking the money that he swindled from these and then living this lifestyle for them and then using them and then goes to like I said, my hats off to that guy. Hats off to that guy.
Oh my gosh, Thaddeus. And the thing too is that he was bouncing, like he was never in one place at the same time. Yeah. So he was always bouncing around. So like you think you in this relationship for a year, he always on business. And what he really doing is going on to these different women. So you thinking, you're really with this dude and he all over the place with everybody and their mama. It was so hard for them to catch him, Thaddeus, because he was always somewhere different. But eventually they did catch him. And how long did he get in jail?
I think he got out in 5 months based on good behavior.
5 months.
I would have given him 0.
What? That is. And these poor women, all these women are still in debt. I don't know if all of them are still, but
they have somebody got a GoFundMe for them.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. My gosh. Woo. Okay. Anisha said, yeah, I was always told if a man asks you for money, run. A man got to find his way. You as a woman not even asking for money and he asking you for money.
I would say it again, it depends to which guy, because let's say if this was a guy that you think that he made it seem like he was going to be in the NBA and he's showing you the contracts and all of that stuff. You're seeing him practice with the team and he asks you for some money. Come on, you're going to give it to him. If you honestly think that he's going to make millions, yeah, you're going to give it to him.
On a hope and a wish, lad.
I know that we'll sit here and say, no, that will never happen. I've heard enough stories about women giving money to bums. So I could only imagine.
Did I tell you this story already? I think I did. I went on a date one time with this guy. I met him like at a restaurant. We exchanged numbers and stuff. And on our first date, we went out. I think I told you this. The man had like copies of contracts, like he showed me on his phone.
Yeah.
Of contracts, and it was, however millions or thousands or whatever. And then all of a sudden, the next day, he left his wallet.
Red flag.
His wallet, but he didn't ask me for money though. But I insisted. I was like, "You sure you don't need it? You sure?" And eventually he said, "Yeah, okay." And then I blocked his gun. But it's just so crazy.
Yeah,
the things people do.
You have to be careful though, because it's not everybody. Because I remember this one time I went out on the few times I actually went out on like a real date. Like this is somebody I didn't know. I didn't know this person, and guess what? I forgot my wallet at home. And I was like, oh, okay, it's no big deal, right? Because I always keep, like with my phone, I always keep like a backup there. So I was like, it's no problem. I pull it out and my card had expired that month.
No! Oh my God. So what did you do?
Well, I luckily she was really cool. So what I told her is just like, listen, just pay for it. And then I'll just Zelle you the money.
And she was like, okay.
Yeah, she was like, okay. And she paid, and then I Zelled her the money. And then actually we went to another spot after that, and she paid again, and I Zelled her the money.
Okay, now how does this happen? Now, what, you Zelled her when you got home later, or from?
No, like right there.
Oh, okay. Well, okay.
But
okay.
even if I did, I think she still would have done it.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Wow.
But like I said, you can't judge sometimes accident does happen. Someone can forget their wallet at home, especially if it's maybe a first day, you're kind of nervous. Yeah, you know.
What's the odds of that shit though?
I know.
Y'all in the audience, tell us what y'all think, okay? Have y'all had a similar experience? Y'all let us know, okay? Okay, so the last thing we're going to talk about are red flags going on with this. Red flags, that is.
What about green flags? We in
Oh,
green today. Why are we talking about red flags?
oh my God, that's such a good idea. Okay, people always talk about red flags. Let's talk about green flags for real. I like it, Thaddeus. So let's talk about what are some green
Because
flags? What are some?
we always talk about the negatives, like, yo, aren't there positives out here? Like, I
Woo!
have met some very, very good people, like very good people. And I'm like, yo, all with all the crap people out here talking about, well, men ain't this and women aren't that. And when, like, in my experience, I'm just looking at these people who complain and just like, maybe it's y'all are the problem. Because I certainly find like amazing people, and I know I'm amazing. So
Okay, so let's talk about let's talk about the green flags. Side note, I said Simplified Chic says, she would ask the question first, like, why would he want me? We're not in the same league. That's the first mistake. But C is absolutely right. Okay, I feel you, I guess. If that's how you feel. Okay, so all right, Thaddeus. So what's some green flags? Come on, guys, tell us what are some good signs that you met a good one. Thaddeus, you want to go first?
yeah, number one, she shows up on time, and she actually put effort in how she looks.
Ooh, that's a good one. The fact that she actually puts effort in what she looks like. So
Yeah,
absolutely. If she's in
that's a
TC.
huge one. I because like if you come, well, I mean, for me, it's like if you don't think that I deserve you dressing up, like yeah, it ain't. Especially if we're going someplace like dinner or something. Now, if we're just meeting for coffee and you're not in like full full makeup and like a wedding gown, I would understand. But if we're meeting at a nice place, a nice restaurant, and you come looking in gym wear, your hair pulled back in the pull. Nah, get out of here. Like that's the last time. That's the last time we're meeting.
Oh, so Thaddeus had a good idea. We're doing green flags. What are good for St. Patrick's Day? What are some good signs that she got a good one? So Thaddeus said she showed up on time. Thaddeus said she dressed like she actually cared about her looks. I totally agree with the cared about that. In the chat, Anisha said another green flag is effective communicator. So if someone communicates effectively, isn't that awesome when you can actually communicate with someone? I love that. She also said punctual. Okay, Anisha also said a planner, someone that plans things out. What do you think that is?
I think that might be a red flag or at least a yellow flag.
Why?
Because guys are not naturally good planners. So if this guy he plans very, very well, chances are, the high chances are, you're definitely not the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th girl he's done this for. Trust me.
Oh, so
Especially if
you
he's
think?
like super smooth with it. Nah. So that's definitely I won't call it a red flag. It's a caution flag, yellow.
Oh, so he might be a player, huh?
I had no doubt. Like he just too smooth. He just too smooth with it.
Yeah, being too smooth. That's something,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Oh, oh, or it might be just a guy who knows how to treat a woman. Maybe his mama taught him well. Because his
nah.
mama taught him that. I got a good what a man. Nah. Okay. Okay, so what are some other green flags? Okay. Green flags for a guy and a woman, availability, right? They're actually available. They're not dodging your texts, your phone calls. They're not making excuses as to why they don't want to hang out with you. Someone who actually makes time to spend time with you.
That's good. I like what you said at the last sentence. Makes time. Because if somebody's too available, you know what that usually means? They ain't got nothing going on.
So what I say is make themselves available for you. I don't care. It doesn't matter how busy they are. Girls, I can only speak on that. So stop accepting these excuses. Oh, he's just too busy. He's got a big job. You got a decent job and you make time.
Excuse me, decent. Excuse me. Let's rewind that.
Thaddeus, you have a great job.
Okay, thank you.
What? I don't see any red flags coming from you. You have a great job, and do you have time for women if there's a woman that you found that was special?
Most definitely.
Lord. Thank you. So stop accepting these excuses. A person ain't got no time. What's another green flag? I love that we're doing green flags. What else? What about future talk? Like if the person, it talks about their kind of future plans with you.
I would say that if they didn't talk about like a bitter, if they don't sound bitter or hurt, talking about like their past relationships, if they speak about their ex in good terms, that's a very, especially if I won't say that they're necessarily friends with their ex, but if they're cordial, like if their ex walk by, they could say, "Hey, how are you? How's everything going?" They don't have to extend the conversation past that, but that's shows that they are very mature, emotionally mature.
So, but what if the ex did them dirty? Like they still supposed to be friend up with them?
Well, that's why I just said it. That's why I said cordial. And if somebody could do you dirty and you can be cordial to them, that shows even a greater emotional maturity.
Ooh, okay. All right now. Y'all in the chat, let us know what are some more green flags. Somebody said good hygiene. Somebody said first appearance matters. Okay, so I guess she agreed with you. Y'all tell us in the chat, what are some green flags? What are some signs that the person really might be a keeper? So what about, like I said, if they talk about future plans with you, if they're like, okay, talking about marriage, talking about, okay, in 2 years, we're going to do this, I see this, they have a plan for the two of y'all, they're speaking futuristically.
Yeah, I mean, that's yellow. Some people could just be bringing that on way too early, and some guys would just be, giving you a pipe dream. Yeah.
Oh, Lord. What about meeting the parents? What if a guy introduces you to his parents? Is that a green flag?
That's definitely a green flag.
Oh, okay, that is a green flag for that. All right.
Especially if he doesn't do it to every woman, and you met his mother and he brings you around his family and his friends and they like you and you like them. Oh man, that's a green flag right there.
Oh, love it. Green flags. Yes. Don't forget in the chat, if y'all have a question for Thaddeus or I to answer, y'all put it in the chat and we're going to answer it as long as it's not sexual. Don't forget to like, love, share, subscribe. Okay. Thank y'all for joining us and keeping the chat live.
Another couple of huge green flags. One, you guys share the same cultures, right? Or the same values, right? That is a huge green flag. Another thing is if you're a very religious person and they're religious and you guys can agree on that, huge. Number 3 is if your views on the world, as far as like, what constitutes good, what constitutes bad, and how you see yourself living in society. And if that gels, oh man, green flags all around.
And what about dealing with conflict, right? Because someone said effective communicator, but I wanted to go even deeper into that. Man, when the person get upset, you get upset. The fact that y'all could work through those things, isn't that amazing?
Yeah, that's a unicorn right there.
Hello. People actually accepting blame. People actually saying sorry. Green flag all around. Y'all let us know in the chat if y'all have any other green flags. Okay, we're doing green flags for St. Patrick's Day.
We tired to do red flags. I think we know all the red flags already.
Listen, NH said, did you see my question? Yeah, I think we answered it. Was that question about if I would let Thaddeus hook me up on a blind date? I said yes. Do you have any other questions? NH, tell me if I missed it. Anisha has a question. When should they introduce you to the parents? 1 year into the relationship? Like, is there a time range? Like, when do you think someone should introduce someone to their parents?
I think as soon as you both know that this is going to be something long-term. I would suggest, for me personally, I would like to do it as early as possible. The reason why is one thing that a lot of couples make is, for instance, like you, especially women, like you met this guy and you think that he is, amazing, right? And then you wait until you fall in love with him and then you bring him around your parents. So if your parents don't like him, and they're like, listen,
wait, hold on,
we don't think that he's a good match for you. So yeah, you would find it very hard to break up with that guy because you already have your feelings invested, rather than you just kind of bring him around as a friend, and then your family could pull you aside and be like, listen, I'm getting some really bad vibes about that guy, especially if you have a good family. and they tell you, listen, I'm really getting some bad vibes about that guy, and that way you can kind of let them go, and it's still early on, so like, no, your feelings aren't involved.
I think that is interesting thought, Thaddeus. However, but how many people are you gonna be cycling through? Like, I'm sure when you meet women, some of them might seem like potential. How many are you gonna bring to your parents?
As many as you need to. Like, remember, dating is something that you're gonna kiss a lot of frogs before you turn one into Prince Charming, or a lot. So I mean, so what if they see you, with these guys, they don't know that, hey, this was a guy, and they don't see him again, it just didn't work out, would you rather just hide that and then you do your thing on the side, and then it's like, oh well, hey, some Larry meet my family, and then your family's like, listen, we get some bad vibes, and you're like, nah man, you don't know Larry like how I know him. Yeah, I get married, and then he beat me behind.
Woo! That's a hard one to swallow.
Yeah,
hey, Simplified Chic brought a good question. She said green flag. Oh, I love this green flag. She said, he asked me questions about myself. For example, what do I like to do? And guess what? While she's speaking, he does not interrupt her. Boop. Lick shot. I'm going to say that, yes. A guy who actually listens to you when they ask you a question, they don't tune out, and you can tell that they don't give a crap. Like, if he actually listens, and he doesn't interrupt you, my God, that's such a good one. Woo!
Or if he's a good pretender.
Well, yeah, at least pretend. I mean, come on now. Oh, yes, I'm the great pretender. So, yeah, a guy who actually listens, that's a good one, right? Tell me, green flags in the chat. We're doing green flags. What are some green flags to show that you got a keeper for St. Patrick's Day? Ooh, Anisha said financially literate. Simplified Chic say a man on a budget. A guy on a budget is a major green flag. Oh yeah? What if he cheap? Okay, so if he's on a budget, that's a good green flag. Okay, cool. I love in the green flags. Now, can we go on to some of the red flags? I want to go on to the red flags because these are real scenarios that people wanted to know. Okay. So can we speak about them and then
let's go.
Provide your input? And guys, don't forget, if you have questions for Thaddeus or I, put in the chat. Thank y'all for joining us tonight. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hook us up, okay? So these are some real scenarios, y'all. In the chat, Thaddeus, me, we're going to hash these out and let me know if these are red flags or not. Okay, so the first one. So I have a friend who sold her car recently, right? So she sold her car. She went into the dealership, sold the car. And one of the guys who works at the dealership, one of the car salesmen, was giving her a ride home, right? So on the ride home, the guy, kind of tries to holler at her, say, hey, can I get your number? And she turns around, looks on the back seat, and there are condoms laying on the back seat. And this guy, mind you, is probably about 50 years old. So she's thinking, is that a red flag? If I'm riding in a guy's car, a salesman nonetheless, and I look back and there are condoms on this man's back seat, is that a red flag? Yes or no? Let me hear from y'all in the chat. Thaddeus, what you think?
I don't know. That just seems kind of weird. I don't even know if that would be a red flag or not. That's just that's really weird.
Right?
I mean, what was he hoping to accomplish with that? I don't get it.
That's what I'm saying. Were they just out from his weekend, his previous weekend? Or why would that be there? It's something you got to raise the flag, right? It might be a red,
Yeah, but I mean, if he's 50 something, I mean, he has to know that would never work. I would never, as a woman, I don't think a woman would see condoms and be like, ooh, you know what condoms are for? It doesn't translate very well. It doesn't.
It's weird, right?
Yeah, it's just too weird.
Oh, I like how Anisha's got an actual picture of a red flag. Anisha said red flag. Lord, okay. Man, I say red flag, like for real. Here already when he's a car salesman, I'm like, oh gosh. And then with the damn condoms, I'm like, oh Lord. That's a red flag for me. Okay. Anybody else in the chat, let us know. Okay, so that was the first one. The second one So one time, okay, I was at a car wash, cleaning my car on the inside, doing my little vacuuming, and I have my daughter in the back seat, right? And so I'm vacuuming, and this guy comes up next to me. He's got his car going, and he's like, "Oh, you know what? You smell so good." And he's trying to holler at me, talking to me, right? So while he's talking to me, my daughter's in the back seat, like waving to him, telling him hi, totally ignoring her. Okay. Totally ignoring her, and it's just like talking to me, only talking to me, trying to get my number and try to talk to me. And she's like waving, she's like, hi, totally not even paying the girl no mind. So tell me, Thaddeus, is this a red flag? Y'all in the chat, let me know, red flag or not.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where you meet these guys. Well, clearly you meet them at the car wash.
Car wash. I got all the songs tonight. Tell me, Thaddeus, is that a red flag? Yes or no?
I mean, I would have to ask him what was his reason, and maybe he just didn't want to creep you out by waving at your daughter. Some parents are very protective of their children.
So it's a yellow, or maybe you're not sure?
Yeah, I don't know. That's just another weird one.
Wow. When I told these guys at work, they said that's the kind of person that'll like hurt an animal. Like really, it's that bad. Because,
yeah, I mean, maybe I'm different, but yeah, I would definitely not wave to a kid if I felt, a certain kind of way. I don't think I would necessarily go hurt people.
Thaddeus, why Simplified Chic says, Wasi, I have green flags covered all over me. Why we still wasting time? Hey, whoop, Simplified Chic. Anisha said she doesn't know. Okay, so man, Thaddeus, so you're saying that they're all kind of weird, huh?
Yeah.
So maybe caution, proceed with caution?
Yeah, we'll go with yellow.
Okay. So y'all in the chat again, if you have questions for us, let us know. If you have any red flags, let us know, and let us know what y'all think about these stories, okay? So the next one, I met a guy, and I think this is a freaking huge red flag, who says, you know what? I don't like to I feel so bad when I miss people's phone call, because like I really want to show you that I want to talk to you, okay? So before you call me, can you just send me a text so we can schedule the time we're going to talk, so that way I can make sure I clear up my schedule for you, okay? So is this dude considerate, or is this a red flag if you have to text to agree on a time first before you talk to the guy? Tell me, Thaddeus.
Nah, because I'm the same way. Like I don't, my life is really scheduled, so I don't have moments of time when I just don't have anything to do. So if you want to talk to me, it would make sense for you to text me to see if I have time available. That's what I do. I don't think that's a red flag. That's what I do. So if you want to talk to me on the phone, like I just can't talk to you for 30 minutes, an hour. I got stuff to do. Like every night I have a schedule. Like right now, as we're talking right here, I'm supposed to be on a call with a client right now. So my life.
Yes. But is it a requirement? If the girl randomly call you, you're gonna be vexed.
Well, the thing is, like, we just won't be able to spend a lot of time talking. It'll just be like we could only spend like 5 minutes, because like I'm in the middle of something. I'm usually in the middle of something. So if you don't want to feel like I'm just rushing you off the phone all the time, why don't you schedule some time, and then I'll make sure that, okay, tonight I'll set aside like an hour and we're gonna chat. So that's what I do.
Yeah. So y'all let me come on, y'all let me know in the chat if y'all think it's a red flag or not. Ooh, Anisha's saying go for it, girl. Simplified Chic. Oh, Thaddeus. Listen, Thaddeus. But you wouldn't be upset. This guy would literally be upset. Like when I called, and this is why I stopped talking to him, because one time I called and he was like, oh, I was on a phone. I was watching something on my phone and I stopped talking to this guy. I'm like, what the hell? Requiring somebody to text you first?
Yeah, nah. I mean, and then the reason why I would get upset is because I told you this. You're just blatantly, you're going against what I told you. I plainly told you before you call me, text. Like, you're gonna call me? Like, yeah, I'd yell at your behind too.
No, man, because that's controlling. I feel like that's games, man.
Control. That's my personal space. I told you how I like to operate within my space. You just can't come in and say, well, I'm just gonna do what I want. Yeah, well, you don't like me calling you. I'm still gonna call. You know who I am? I'm Nicole. I mean, come on.
Because to me, that's one of my tests, like if I can randomly freaking call you.
You test this guy right out of your life. Good. Congratulations. Go ahead.
I feel like that's games, man. Come on, I need some guys in the chat to let me know if there's a red flag or not.
I just told you, people.
Look, Anisha said, I have a certain time range for talking. Don't call me unless it's within that time range. Lord, so we got some other people that's like that too.
Exactly.
I mean, because I will tell somebody, hey, I'm available at this time to this time. But if they randomly call me, I'm not going to be upset with them. They might just hear the voicemail. That's okay.
Yeah, but I mean, he probably wants to make sure that it's very important. He told you it's very important to him that he picks up all the phone calls.
Lord.
So he's not going to send you straight to voicemail, which I respect the guy for that.
Ooh, man, that rubbed me the wrong way.
Red flags where there are none at this point. You're in the trash now. You just digging to find out. Where can I find a red flag?
Damn, that's what it's come to now, right? Well, we just looking left and right to see if somebody looks suspect or not.
You could see it too. So I mean, like you'll see me, like let's say if I'm talking to someone, like I could see in her, I could read her face. She's just like calculating. It's like, okay, I gotta find what is wrong with this guy. I was like, listen, it's like you don't gotta think. I'll tell you. I will go down the list. It's like I know myself by now. Yeah, I will go down the list.
So the viewers at home want to know what is wrong with you, Thaddeus?
Oh, we don't have enough time for all of that.
Maybe for next session.
For real, like all jokes aside, I could tell you, I could list out because I've heard them so many times over the years. Like I know what all my problems are. I know it. I got it. You cannot tell me something that I didn't know. I'm like, oh wow, I didn't know. I've never heard that.
Damn. Okay, now just come as you are. We're just gonna have to accept you. Okay, so we got a couple more and then we're gonna close it out. Y'all in the chat, let us know what y'all think. What are some red flags? Okay, so the next one was again, this is kind of like around the same thing. Oh no, this is a different one. If a guy says he's gonna call you at a certain time and he consistently does not, and his excuse, oh, I fell asleep, or this or that. So what do you think about that? A guy continuously not keeping the time he says he's going to talk to you. Is that a red flag?
I would say that's an orange flag. I mean, clearly the guy's just not that into you. I mean, clearly.
Boom.
But you wouldn't just give it up. I wouldn't just say just give it up and just move on. I mean, because let's just be honest, right? If you're dating past 30, I mean, you yourself probably are not a prize, and so the people that you're dating also are probably not prizes either. So in saying that, it's like, sometimes I tell women, I know it's bad to say, but it's like, stop being hard to get because you're already hard to want. You're already hard to want, right?
Wow.
So don't expect this guy to be showing you like this, like chasing you like you're this, like a Beyonce or somebody that he desires so much. It's like, no, like relationships after 30, that's not how they go. Sometimes you just chilling and you vibe with somebody and then it grows into something deeper as it goes along. So at first this guy might not be that into you.
But how is that wanting him to chase you? That's just freaking respect. Like respect somebody freaking time.
Yeah, but I mean, he's just not that into you.
Woo! So move on. Why?
I mean, if you keep moving on every time you see one of these yellow flags, I mean, you just never gonna have anybody.
But the thing is that, like, you address them. Like, if in this case, I would have said, this didn't happen to me, but someone asked about this question. But I mean, I would have addressed it. I would have said, hey, you said you were going to call at X time, and I've noticed that you don't, and he doesn't. What?
And he didn't. Okay.
Yeah. So if he continues to, then I feel like, okay, you got to move on.
All right. And then move on to somebody. And they call you every night, but the reason they call you every night because they ain't got stuff going on. And they're a bum. And they're probably going to beat you. It's like you pick your poison. Yeah, you pick your poison. Like you pick your poison.
What? Somebody in the chat said, okay, Anisha said, when should you bring up the topics of children? The second or third day, whether you want children or not. So when should someone bring up if they want children or not?
I would say as early as possible as well. Because the thing is, like I said, you don't want to. I remember I dated this girl once, and to me, like it was weird, but I really liked it. Like before we went out on a date, before before we like talked any about like I like you like me. Nah, it was just straight up. I mean, she had written down questions. We were just basically it sounded like an interview, is what it was. I mean, obviously I had already seen her. She had already seen me. I liked her. She liked me. But we were both like looking for marriage, right? So it wasn't, it's like, nah, let's not do this whole dating. No, no, no. Let's, how many kids you want? 3.
Oh
Okay.
Lord.
Let's, for real, like it, like that's how it was. And I was like, this makes so much more sense. So from that list, you would see, okay, if this person is good for me, and then you take it to something that's emotional. What do we do now? We do it the exact backwards. We look for people who excite us. You know, like, oh, chemistry. Oh, this was so good. And then now when you actually sit down and you're like, well, do you want kids? It's like, no, I don't want kids. I already have kids already. I don't want any more. It's like, well, but I want kids. And then so now you have to do this back and forth, and somebody has to, somebody has to compromise. And she's like, she doesn't want to let you go. So she said, okay, well, I'll have one more. And then you get married, and then she changed her mind. She's like, man, listen, I'm almost 40. Like, what am I going to look like? I have an 18-year-old and I'm going to have a 1-year-old and an 18-year-old. I don't want to do that. So now he's like, well, this is what you said. And she's like, well, and then, that causes some contention. So wouldn't you rather discuss that up front?
Yeah, I think, I'm agreeing with you. I don't think there's anything wrong with doing it up front, like in the first, of course, naturally, not making it awkward, but that's something you need to talk about on the first date. Nobody want to keep going on dates, paying for dates, as we talked about, and spending your time, and y'all not on the same page with kids. I would even probably talk about this, like, even if we had conversations before going out, I would even throw that shit in there. Oh, look, Simplified Chic says, oh, she asked a question and you ain't answer her question, Talia. She said she going to bed. She said, but call me anytime. Oh, call me anytime. Don't text me.
What she said, she full of green flags.
Yeah, she's full of green flags.
So what about the red flags?
Oh, Simplified Chic. He said, what's your red flags? Okay, so
the green flags just hide they just partially hiding the red ones.
Okay, so the last one, again, if y'all have questions, put it in the chat. We're almost about to close out the last red flag. Okay, so I want to hear from men too. I don't know if we have any men on the line too, but is it a red flag if the guy, if you can't like show up at his place unannounced? So let's say if you're in the vicinity, so you're dating a guy, y'all really like each other, you like the girl, and she's in your neighborhood and she stops by with some cookies because she was just thinking about how sweet you are and she wanted to bake you something and drop it off for you, Thaddeus. Is that, like, if you truly like the girl, would that bother you? Yes or no?
I do not do pop-ups.
What? Thaddeus, if you were serious about a girl, I'm not talking about,
I don't care if she's super serious. Like, no, we don't do pop-ups.
Why not?
To me, like, that's just like a privacy thing. Like, I don't do pop-ups. Like, if you want to come see me, just let me know, or call or text me or something like that before you come.
So privacy, like, because
like this is my domain. This is my place. Like, this is my house. Like, don't just come intrude and just like, oh, well, I was in the area and I just had some cookies and I wanted to. No pop-ups.
Ooh, okay. All right. And how about you ladies? Ladies, let me see if it's the same like guys. Do you mind if a guy like pops up on you? If you really do like him and you're dating and he's in the area, are you okay with him popping up on you? Okay, Simplified Sheik said, the thing is, if you text me to ask me to make time to call, I will never have the time because I don't have time. I really don't have time for casual conversations. I can't see where I would fit it. Okay. Anisha said, I would not show up to anyone's house unannounced. It would bother me if a man popped up to my place unannounced. Red flag. Okay. So both of y'all are not on it. Woo, me personally, if I was really tight with a guy, I wouldn't mind at all. Like if we were like really in something serious, I wouldn't mind. I do feel like guys think like it's psycho to kind of do that at first.
Yes, very much so.
But even though I've had some guys say, hey, if I really like her, I know she probably just did it to check on me. And I'd shake my head like she crazy, but it's be like, oh, she's so cute. Like they wouldn't mind. I've had a
Yeah.
couple of guys say that too.
Until she keep doing it. That's one thing you want to nip that in the bud immediately. Immediately. Tell her, listen, I don't care if you're bringing cakes, pies, my favorite, cookies, puppies, whatever. Nope, I do not do pop-ups.
All right. Okay. And to close it out, Simplified Chic says, I think we're all different and we take it too seriously. Of course, we have our preferences, but just respect it and move on. Okay. Anisha said he needs time. He needs to text or call first. Okay. So it's interesting how, people feel about things. I want to thank everybody, including you, Thaddeus, for joining us on our live session. Right now, we're going to start closing it out. So if y'all have any questions, final questions on green flags, red flags, any questions for Thaddeus or me, y'all can put it in the chat right now. Thank y'all for joining us. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, comment. Just hook us up, okay? And if you need help getting over someone you love, don't forget to sign up for our info session next week at 7:30 p.m. on www.mycomfycouch.com, okay? And reach out to us if you're interested in being on the show. We need guests as well, okay? So I'm going to leave it open for a little bit if y'all have any comments. Thank you again for watching, okay? We'll be here for a little bit. Oh, Anisha said it was great. Have a blessed night. You too, Anisha. Thank you for joining us. I appreciate you joining every time we go live. All right, we leave it open just for a little bit. Any final comments, any questions, let us know. Thank you for joining again. Okay, we're gonna leave it open for one more minute, Thaddeus, because I know there's a little delay in the messages.
By the way, isn't tomorrow St. Patty's Day?
That's why I said it was a pre-St. Patty's Day, okay, session, if that's okay with you.
Okay.
Yes, because normally I post the videos on Wednesdays, so
where the drinks at?
See, I didn't think you'd be down for that. I got my drink.
Okay. Where's mine?
What's your drink?
I think I can get me a bottle of water.
Simplified Cheek say peace. Yeah, peace. Thank you. Thank you so much for the engagement. I appreciate it. We appreciate it. All right, Thaddeus, I think that's it. We're going to sign off for now. Thank you again for joining us on another live episode of My Comfy Couch. And we'll see you next time, okay? Toodles. Enjoy your St. Patrick's Day, y'all.
Uh-huh.
Bye.